Thank you everyone for watching my video here today. Today I'm going to be going over practical tips or lessons surrounding collections. So before I get into that, I just want to kind of give you guys an explanation of who I am. My name is Jared Havens, co-founder of Credit Life, a financial wellness company. I am a certified FICO professional and a certified senior credit life coach. And what I do is I work with people who are looking to improve both their credit and financial position. Okay. Now, credit is a hot topic right now. Okay. I know it's everywhere. You have Credit Karma, freecreditscore.com. You have CreditWise. Your Discover's giving you your credit score. I mean, all these things. We're bombarded right now lately when it comes to credit scores and credit reports or reporting. But what's not out there and what's still missing are the lessons, the education, understanding how to be proactive in your situation to better your credit score and credit profile, to be able to move forward with certain types of lending and ultimately pay less on certain things when it comes to interest rates or insurance premiums. So now collections is a hot topic, okay? It's something that a lot of people have or have had, and they have no idea how to manage it. They don't understand the negative impact it has on a credit profile, but more importantly, they don't understand the continued potential negative impact it can have, and not only a credit score, but also limiting your ability to move forward with certain lending like mortgage or auto loan, things like that. So what do I mean by that? I'm going to get into it now, okay? So I'm going to give you guys three tips. I'm going to explain what collections are and the type of negative impact it has on your credit profile. I'm going to explain the missteps that most people do or take when having collections when they're wanting to be proactive in improving their credit score or credit profile. And then I'm going to explain to you exactly what needs to be done specifically to actually handle these types of accounts properly and allow you to then move forward and be proactive in improving your credit position. So first, collections. What are collections? It could be a utility bill you didn't pay. Maybe you went through a hardship, you moved places, whatever it is, you've gone through a divorce, something that wasn't paid, right? Went into delinquency or derogatory status, then ultimately sent to collections. Could be credit card, Capital One, you could add a Credit One, whatever it is, for whatever reason, you may have had some sort of situation in your life where you didn't make a payment on that, and ultimately that creditor decided to write that off as a profit and loss, and at that point it gets updated as a charged off account within your credit report and sent to collections, okay? There's a lot of different ways that something can be sent to collections, but ultimately everything goes back to history of lent money, okay, or a service provided. So now, not all collection companies report to the major credit bureaus, okay? You have Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. It's very important to know that these are three separate companies. They are for-profit businesses. There's been a ton of news surrounding Equifax and the large data breach. I mean, what you guys have to understand is these are for-profit companies. It's like Nike, Reebok, Adidas, okay? They're in the business to make money. They make money on our data. That's very, very important to understand, as they're making money on our information. So literally, as information is being reported to them, they're taking it in, they're attaching it to what's called identified information, your information as a consumer, they're selling that, okay? So when it comes to collections and collection companies, not all collection companies report because it costs money to report, okay? So the first thing you need to understand is when you receive, let's say, a collection notice, you always want to make sure and be proactive by accessing an online consumer credit report through online credit monitoring. Credit Karma maybe is a first step. Identity IQ, Privacy Guard, there's a lot of different options. I always recommend accessing what's called a consumer credit report through online credit monitoring because it's a soft pull. Does not hurt your credit report or credit score by pulling that, but allows you to take a look at the information, the detailed information within your credit report to know what's in the history, okay? Now, if you have a collection that's not reporting, that's a good thing. It's not negatively impacting you. But in the most cases, it's going to be reporting, okay? It's going to be within your credit profile. So at that point, what you have to understand is this. Collection companies obtain debts in large bundles. They didn't just pick you out of a crowd. They didn't say, hey, this is John Smith here. Looks like they have a nice job. They're making $70,000 a year, W-2 employee. they look in a good position. I'm going to pursue them because I think we have a good chance of getting paid on this collection. That doesn't happen. They're purchasing debts in large bundles from original creditors, companies, whatever it is, and then they're going to pursue that bundle. They're calling, they're mailing you, and all that. Down this list, their company is. They're in the business to make money as well, okay? So what they're doing is they're reaching out proactively to pursue a debt to get paid and collect on that debt. Now, what happens is over a course of time, if they don't get paid out or if they don't, get in touch with you, there's a very good chance that they're going to sell that collection to another debt buyer wholesale collection company, or if they're a third-party collection company retaining a contract, that contract may expire and go back to an original creditor, which they then send out to another one. Why am I explaining this? Well, the reason being is that you need to understand that just because it's on your credit report doesn't necessarily mean that information is accurate, verifiable, and valid as of today, okay? That's very, very important. So when it's originally reported, there is a negative impact to your credit profile and credit score because now a derogatory debt, it's a negative debt, so there's that negative impact. It's bad activity, right? It's negative activity. But also, there's a chance that over time, if that collection gets sold to another debt buyer or wholesale collection company, they may end up re-reporting that debt originating from the same original creditor, and now you have two collections on your report negatively impacting you, okay? So that's not uncommon at all. Now, I want to explain that because I want you guys to understand the missteps that a lot of people take, okay? So let's say here I'm John Smith. I went through an issue. I went through a divorce, loss of job, whatever it is. I'm doing better now. I'm making money. I'm working full time. I have a stable, living situation. I want to better my credit because I want to be able to move forward with, let's say, a mortgage, or I want to get an auto loan with low interest rates, whatever it is. You're being proactive. That's what's important to understand here, okay? Well, a lot of times if you think about it, when someone pulls their credit report and they see collections, you're going to look at that going, hey, you know what? I remember that. I remember that credit card. I didn't pay that. That's right. You know what? I'm going to pay it now. I want to move forward. I'm trying to move on here. That's got to be good, right? I'm going to pay that sucker off right now in full. I'll do it right now. Well, here is something very important to understand. Paying on a collection or charged off account that's reporting will lower your credit score. It will lower the credit score. This is why. If you take a look at your account, you're going to see a section there called data last activity or data last payment, okay? That's going to be referencing the last time a payment was made on that account or when it was originally reported. If there hasn't been any sort of activity on that account for a certain amount of time, even paying it off in full is updating that data last payment, that data last activity to today's date, refreshing the life of a negative account, negatively impacting your credit profile and credit score again, okay? That's a huge misstep, okay? You need to make sure you proactively approach this to understand how this all works, okay? So when people hear that, they're going, okay, then what do I do? Not pay it? I'm not saying that either. It's about strategy. It's about understanding your legal rights. It's about understanding how these things operate, how collections work, to use that information to make informed decisions and be proactive in your situation and truly fix your situation so you can move on, okay? So that leads me to number 3. What do you do when you have collections, okay? First step, I brought it up in step 1. You want to access an online credit report, a consumer credit report through online credit monitoring. Now, I'm in no way dogging Credit Karma. Anyone can use that. It's a free source. It's fine. But I want you guys to understand that it's not a detailed report. I apologize. It only has 2 bureaus, and it's more of a detailed summary. It's not an actual detailed tri-bureau report. Tri-bureau meaning 3 bureau, okay? So I would recommend Identity IQ, Privacy Guard is a good one, Smart Credit's a good one. These do cost money, but it's not that much. And it allows you to access a tri-bureau report, a detailed report, so you can take a look at all the accounts within your account history. And in this case, we're going to start targeting collections. And what we want to look for is what's being reported, what did it originate from, and I want to find out, Is it originating from a credit card like Capital One or Credit One? Is that still showing a balance, but yet we also have a collection here reporting a balance as well? Technically, that's inaccuracy. That's not valid, meaning if that collection or that credit card company wrote that off as a profit and loss, and if they sold that to a debt buyer and that debt buyer actually purchased that bundle, they hold that debt, well then at that point, yeah, they technically can report a balance, but really if they've written it off and they're no longer pursuing that debt, that should also then be updated to a zero balance. So this opens up opportunities for investigation strategies, challenging the accuracy of reporting information directly with the credit bureaus to get that information updated and even potentially deleted or permanently removed from your credit report. Okay, so that's important to know. Another thing you want to take a look at with collections is the date of last payment or the date of last activity, as well as a section called date it was last reported. That's actually, there's a difference there. You may have a company reporting to the bureaus, updating information about the account, but it's not necessarily activity that would cause a positive and or negative impact to your credit profile, okay? That's important to know. So if we look there and we see that date of last payments 2 years ago, and they haven't reported anything for 2 years, 1 year, whatever it is, or 1 year, I should say, well, what does that tell you? I talked about it before. Collections get bought and sold. Well, there's a good chance that that collection's been sold to another collection company, and because of that, that specific company that originally reported it no longer has a debt today. Therefore, it makes sense to challenge the validity of that debt and have them verify that information, because if they don't have that debt or not pursuing that debt here today, there's a very high probability that they're not going to be able to verify or validate. Therefore, the collection is then permanently deleted off your credit report. So ideally, this is what you want to do as a recap. You want to access a consumer credit report. You want to identify the accounts that have been either written off as a charged off account, it'll actually show that charged off, as well as collections. You want to then take that information and look at the history, date of last payment, date of last activity, and date last reported, date reported, okay? That's going to help you start forming strategies to do what's called credit repair and help repair some of that derogatory negative history. And then after you go through that process and your credit profile is improved, your credit scores potentially have improved, you then go back and work out some sort of settlement, debt negotiation for settled less than full balance or pay them less than full balance, settle out as paid in full but you're paying less. And then at that point, you've improved your credit profile, you improved your credit scores, you've also taken care of this lingering debt out there, with whoever it's with at that time. That is a true fix, okay? You're improving your credit profile first, then you're taking care of those accounts. So in general, those are the lessons surrounding collections. Obviously, there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to credit repair, credit improvement, financial stability, money management. It all goes hand in hand, but I want to give you guys as much tips as I possibly can. In this case, it was lessons on collections. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Once again, I'm Jared Havens, Senior Credit Life Coach, FICO Certified Professional, and co-founder of Credit Life, a financial wellness company.